Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. No matter where I go, I can't do a video. Inside, outside, roosters, dogs, phones. It's like, okay, I made it. I think I got a spot. I came back to the spot I just did a video at. So I've been all over the place, upstairs, downstairs, in the house, out of the house, and it's still loud out here, so excuse it. What are the safest cities in the Philippines? What are the safest cities in the Philippines? Now this is going to include Asia. And believe it or not, this is something that I found very interesting when I was doing research on this video. What are the safest cities? You know what? I'm going to do these in order. And this information came, actually, I got this from Numbeo online. It's a database company. It actually takes a look at people and population and where they live and the cost of living and all the things that has to do, the loaf of bread, the price of bread, and things like that. So here's going to be the very first, believe it or not, you're not going to believe, the #1 place, the safest place listed in the top 10. This is top 10. It's going to be Baguio. Baguio is on the #1 top place to live. Isn't that something? #2, Valencia. Excuse me. Valenzuela City. Valenzuela City is #2. Valenzuela City here in the Philippines is #2. #3, Chiang Mai in Thailand. Chiang Mai in Thailand. Isn't that something? So 4, actually Davao was #1 when I first moved to the Philippines, believe it or not. Davao is listed at #4. Now, these lists compared. Now, as you know, we were under martial law here for a while, and we're not under martial law now. So a lot of this has changed quite a bit. So #4 was Davao. Makati, #5, which is really nice. Bali, Indonesia. Bali is the next one on the list. Bali, Indonesia. And then, of course, it runs into Cebu. Cebu, Philippines is listed next. Bangkok, Thailand is next. And then it goes down to Dumaguete is next. Now, the actual safest place was a very much surprised. Crime was a factor. They took a look at crime. They took a look at incidents, crime, victims, accidents, just a lot of things in general. Road rage. So also, which is really, I found really interesting, also the cheapest places to live as listed in the Philippines, listed #1 was Dumaguete. Was cheaper. It actually beat out here, which is surprising. Davao was rated next as being the cheapest place to live here in the Philippines. Bacolod was the next one on the list. Tarlac. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You know how I chop up the language here. Sorry about that. CDO. Next on the list for the cheapest place to live in the Philippines. I would have thought it had been more in the Malay or this area, but they say CDO is cheaper than anywhere. Of course, Baguio. We know the Baguio's prices have decreased considerably. The reason why a lot of people are moving there, there's a lot of industry going in there, which brings more, and so they have a lot of empty apartments, I understand, in that area. Iloilo is the next one on the list. But something is really interesting to me is the #1 spot that the people are actually moving to. The number one spot people are actually searching online to go to. Is this really actually, it did not amaze me, but I figured it would be in the top. But this is number one place people search coming here in the Philippines. And most of the people, instead of, it used to be Dumaguete, it used to be actually Makati, Angela City, it varied. Davao. Davao was the number one searched place to move to and live. And they said more people are actually moving there than expected. I know a lot of Chinese move there. Dumaguete is number 2. And number 3 place to live in the Philippines, and no, I can understand that, is Baguio. And all these numbers in the research that I looked at different companies, different places and things like this, but I found that Davao, I could see Davao being the people are moving to their number one search, Duma and then Baguio, because of the temperature. Now Davao, you're going to find it's going to be hotter than Baguio. Davao's going to be harder than what's going to be in Balai here. Davao's going to be a little harder than it is. But you know what? They do have the ocean breezes there coming off the ocean, which is really nice. So it's something to take a look at. I decided to do this video because people ask safest places to live. What are the safest places to live in the Philippines? So I thought I'd just do a list of 3 or 4 scenarios. The safest, the cheapest, and most acquired places that they want to go here in the Philippines. I want to thank everybody for watching. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. And thank you for coming on our channel.